Hi, I'm Chris Good. I'm the spine surgeon at Virginia Spine Institute who helped Omar get through his surgery. As you've seen, Omar is an extremely healthy, active, physical guy, but unfortunately had a major injury 10 years ago that has left him with disabling back pain. Now, he has been around the world, and I was very honored that he chose to come to see me from Dubai to determine the best course of treatment and to ultimately have surgery. Now, it is important for us to say that most people who have injuries to their discs actually get better with simpler treatments, and so the majority of people with disc issues don't come to require a surgical procedure. But in Omar's case, he tried everything. He traveled the globe, saw many different doctors, and none of the usual treatments were helpful for him. And so he actually came to find me looking for a definitive answer for his chronic disabling back pain. Now, I'd like to show you a little bit about the x-rays and tell you about what we did to help Omar get back in the game. So x-rays in this situation show a clear disc issue in the lower disc of the back, which is numbered the L5-S1 disc. So if we look at the side view of the back, we can see the bones and the discs are stacked one on top of the other. The discs are the cushions in between, and all of these structures move in relation to each other as we live our lives. Now, in this situation, there was a trauma, a major injury, which tore and destabilized the lowest disc at L5-S1. And on the x-ray, we can see there's not very much space between the bones compared to the other levels. We can also see through x-rays that the bones start to slip and slide when the patient moves. And so there's an instability at the base of the spine. So we're really talking at the lowest level of the spine. And that disc is under a tremendous pressure as we live our lives. And if you have an instability there, it can be very disabling and prevent people from being able to be active. Now, if we look in an MRI scan, a high-resolution picture, we could see that the upper portion of the back looks totally healthy. So these are normal bones and very healthy discs running in the upper part of the spine. But at the L5-S1 level, there's been a disc injury. We can see the disc is a darker color, which implies that it has lost its sponginess or hydration. There's been a tear and a herniation in the back of the disc. And this has led to a long-standing back problem causing back pain, as well as irritation of the nerve that comes out of the spine at that level, causing nerve pain down the leg. And because none of the other options have worked over time, we discussed a procedure to remove this disc and stabilize this unstable level in order to improve the patient's quality of life. And so the surgery we did is called an ALIF, which stands for anterior lumbar interbody fusion. Now, anterior means the front part of the spine, and so that means that we're actually going through an incision below the belly button, similar to a small C-section type of incision. And we're actually going into the disc of the spine from a frontal approach. So in this example, the belly button's up here. This is an approach where we come in and actually remove the disc completely. We remove the disc where it's pinching the nerve, and then we put in an implant to replace where the disc was previously. Now that has little screws that hold it in place and ultimately welds or fuses these bones together, so that as the fusion heals, the patient no longer feels this instability, which is causing the back pain, and there's no more instability between the bones pinching or irritating the nerves. So here's an example of the final x-ray, and we can see that the disc has been removed and replaced by this triangular implant called a cage, and then there are actually screws and a plate holding this all in place. And bone graft is fusing or welding the spine together in the situation. Now, luckily in this particular situation, as soon as we did this, getting stability opened up space around the nerve, so the nerve pain went away immediately. Now, the healing process from a fusion takes some time. Just like a broken bone mending in a cast, we need to wait approximately 3 months while the bone heals together before we can let him go back to heavy-duty weightlifting or hardcore activities. Now, this is an example of an anterior lumbar interbody fusion. And again, most people with disc problems do not go to require this type of treatment. But for the small group of people where everything else has been tried and nothing has worked, this can be a phenomenal option as in this situation. And I was honored for him to be here from so far away and to come to see me, and I'm glad he's doing so well.